Welcome back. I'm Lindsay Rodriguez, and I am absolutely thrilled because we have the Bachelorette herself. Hannah B is on the line. Hannah, thank you so much for joining us.
I'm so glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Well, you look beautiful. We were talking a little bit before we went live that you're running on adrenaline right now, and you haven't thought about sleep in a while, but it is not showing. So you're looking great.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Of course. So let's get into your time as the Bachelorette, because I want to start with the fact that some people, including Chris Harrison, expressed some doubts that maybe you weren't tough enough to take on the challenge of being the Bachelorette. Did you ever have that same fear yourself?
Oh, well, I'll have to talk to Chris about that. But, you know, I don't know if I had fear about not being tough enough. I definitely know that I can handle my own, and I think viewers will be able to see that. But I am an emotional person, and I don't hide my emotions. And I think that makes me a unique Bachelorette. I don't play up for camera. I don't try to put on a persona for anybody. I'm a real human being with real feelings, and some of those are happy and excited, and some of those are frustrated and sad and angry. And so you'll see all of those from one side of the spectrum to the other.
Well, I think already, I mean, we're only a couple of episodes into your season, but already that's what they love about you, is that you are really relatable. No one feels as though you're putting on an act. Everyone seems to be really in agreement that you are 100% being yourself all of the time, and that's really refreshing to see, to be quite honest. So thank you for giving us that. Like, it's really, you're giving us someone really to root for.
Yeah, well, that was really important for me when deciding or when I was chosen to be the Bachelorette, that this would be my story and it would be my real experience, and that I would be allowed to do that. And I'm really thankful for the production and the people behind showcasing my experience on this show, for allowing me to be myself and showing my hardships and how I struggle with those and how I recover and bounce back from those, and not trying to put me in a box of how I should react and respond as a Bachelorette, but just allowing me to respond and react like Hannah would, and be on this journey to find love like Hannah wants to be able to find love. So that really goes for everybody that was a part of this journey with me, to be able to bring everyone along in that and have this real authentic experience together.
Well, let's go back to mentioning your hardships, because in the very first episode, you met Scott, and then very quickly it was revealed that he had a girlfriend outside of the house. So I mean, first of all, you absolutely stood up to him, you kicked him out, and so you had everyone just going like, okay, like, she's got this. But how did that affect your mindset? Were you then sort of worried going forward that, oh God, like, what other secrets are these guys hiding? Like, how did that affect your heart and your mind?
I mean, there was a small seed of doubt that was planted in my mind with the whole Scott situation the very first night of being the Bachelorette, because it's like, you know, you hope that the men that are going to go on this experience with me are going to be true and genuine about the reasons why they are here. But ultimately, you know, that's not going to be the case, and I can't let others really affect how this is really important to me. And so I reacted and responded to that, and I did that in my Hannah Beast way and showed Scott and the other guys that that was not okay, and I would not let that happen, and set a precedent for how the guys would know if anything else happened like that, how I would also react to them. But ultimately, I am one of those people that when something happens, I respond, and I respond emotionally, and then I am over it. So I don't really hold grudges, and I think that's what, like, yes, I'm very emotional, but I also can, like, saddle back up and continue moving forward. So I tried not to let what happened the first night just really wreck the rest of my experience.
And on that note about being emotional, when you were entering in to this experience, did you have a strategy in your mind, or did you decide that I'm just going to go based on my emotions and my instincts as I meet all of these gentlemen?
Looking back, I might have had a strategy, but I think as soon as I got into this, any strategy I could have had went out the window very quickly. There is no preparing to be the Bachelorette or preparing to date 30 men and this type of setting. It is an experience that is unlike any other and something that nobody else will ever get unless you have been a Bachelorette or Bachelor. It's really tough and really challenging, and I could have never expected or anticipated how challenging and amazing this whole thing could be.
And I feel like you keep making all my segues really easy for me. So you mentioned it's a very unique experience, and if you haven't been a Bachelorette, you cannot possibly understand what it's like. So to that end, what was the best piece of advice that you were given by a previous Bachelorette?
Well, honestly, I was called by Chris kind of on a whim for me. Like, I had no idea that I was getting a call to be the Bachelorette when that happened. And so as soon as I got the call, I was whisked away to LA to start my journey. And so I didn't really get to talk to too many past leads, but I did see a few of them on Instagram just reaching out and just being like, just supporting me and telling me just to be true to myself. And I think that really is, as cliche as it sounds, it's the most important thing. And what I really did try to do the whole time is just be vulnerable and real, because what you're ultimately trying to do here is find somebody you can spend the rest of your life with and have those real true moments in the good and the bad, the hard times and the good times. And so to do that and to really find something to work, you have to be completely yourself.
Yeah, and this is advice that we saw you give to Tyler on the most recent episode of the show when you had your one-on-one date. So do you think that your experience being on Colton's season of The Bachelor made this experience for you easier or harder because you were able to put yourself in the gentleman's shoes and just be like, oh, I know what you're going through and it's rough?
I don't know if it made it for me easier, but I think I was able to be really compassionate with the guys because I know what it's like being in their shoes. I know how they're feeling in each moment, what it's like to be on a group date, what it's like to feel like you might be uncomfortable, or is this really where I'm supposed to be? How do I get my time? What do I even say to this person? Is this really going to work? I know all the questions that are going through their mind because I've thought them and been in their shoes. And I think that was one of the biggest things for me, especially at the beginning, to have those conversations and make them feel comfortable. Because as soon as you can make the guys, I felt like, make them feel comfortable, then that's when you can get to those real, genuine conversations, because you've broken down that wall of like, I'm not just the Bachelorette, I'm Hannah, I'm a human being that you're dating, and that we're on the same level of like, hey, this is weird, but we're in this together, and this is just our life now. This is how we're doing this.
Right. Well, you know, some of the guys maybe got too comfortable because Cam kept interrupting your moments with the other guys. So did you think that that was a bold move? Did you think it was cute? Did you have a different feeling towards it? Did you think it was rude maybe? Like how did you feel when he kept sort of coming into these other moments?
No, I had asked the guys to be bold because I feel like it's really important for a woman to feel like a man is pursuing them and to feel that and see that. I think Cam took it a little too far sometimes, but it was coming from a good place. He was really taking everything I said to heart, but was stepping on toes in the meantime. But you know, it's hard because it's not just Kim and I in this whole process together. I'm trying to juggle so many different relationships. So it made it a little bit more difficult, but I know that he was just trying to show that he was listening to what I was saying and putting his Cam spin on everything.
Well, look, you got to love a man who can take direction, but you also got to love a man with abs. And Luke P had those in spades. But what really went through your mind? I'm just thinking about it now. I'm like, oof, what a picture. What really went through your mind though when Luke told you so soon into the competition that he was falling in love with you? Did you find that genuinely sweet, or was there a tiny part of you that was like, oh, this is too much?
A little mixture of both. It is not a secret that Luke and I had a very strong connection right off the bat. That was a little bit surprising to me as well. And so I was a little smitten by him. And so hearing that he had feelings for me was nice, but also it was a little bit awkward for me to hear that in front of a live audience and all the other guys that were also pursuing me. So yeah, it was a little different, but I mean, it's nice to know that there was a guy that was already having feelings for me, I guess.
Who wouldn't? You're so lovely. And you had expressed that you had a huge crush on Jed, and then Jed walked in on you and Luke when he was about to give you a massage, but he handled it so beautifully. Did that make you, did that intensify your crush for Jed because he was just so chill about the whole thing?
I was so impressed with Jed because I was having my own mini freak out, because here I am with one guy that I am really attracted to, and then one of the other guys I have a crush on is seeing all this, and it's just like, what do I do in this moment? And so I was honestly dreading going to talk to Jed, and just like, I was just going to fall on the sword and just say, I'm so sorry. And instead of him, I mean, he could have gone in there and had a whole confrontation with Luke, and he just let it all just settle and was trying to make me feel better, and just, he handled that like a champ. And it was really attractive to see how he can handle situations that are sometimes uncomfortable. That's something that you look for in a guy when you're looking for a future life partner. So that was definitely something that kind of definitely piqued my interest in Jed.
Yeah, well, he made a joke. He made you feel comfortable. A lot of people on Twitter were praising him for showing his maturity. But I'm curious, as Luke was disrobing, ready to give you said massage, was there a part of you that was thinking, maybe this isn't the best idea because all the other guys are just in the other room?
Yeah, there was a part of me that was like, why is this massage table set up in the middle of the house? But I don't know if that was all Luke. I mean, there's a lot that goes into having these ideas put together. But yeah, it was a little bit awkward. But, you know, when guys are trying to do something special for me, you don't want to make them feel like, how dare you do this? Like, but that was, I feel like, just a bad, just inconvenient for both parties, of just like, that's awkward for everyone involved. I think it was just awkward truly for everybody involved. Me, Luke, and Jed. Nobody wanted that to happen, I don't think.
Right. But it was handled really beautifully, as we already said. And without giving too much away, was there someone that you met over the course of this experience that you developed feelings for that surprised you because they had qualities that you never knew you were looking for in a life partner?
I think really all the guys that were there, I mean, there were qualities about them all that I could see in a life partner. Now, some were surprising that I never really gave a chance at first, and then continued to develop over time. But I don't know. You'll have to see who I really do start to pique an interest for, and how the trajectory of each relationship changes as we continue to go on.
Yeah, it's very exciting. And you told Colton that you don't date to date, you date to marry someone. And so I'm curious as to when you went into the Bachelorette house, like were you doing that with the intention of being engaged at the end of this experience, or just with the intention of having met the man that you will one day marry once you've had a chance to get to know each other outside of the house?
I mean, my intentions were to, as soon as I stepped into the mansion as a bachelorette, I mean, I'm looking for somebody that I could marry and be engaged to at the end of this. I mean, that's what this is all about. I mean, yes, it's a fast-paced way of dating, but it's worked in the past for people. And just from my experience with Colton, I truly believe, or even before believed, that it could happen for me. And so that was the whole goal going into it. But I also am very adamant about staying true to myself, and want to make sure that I feel unconditional, wholehearted love from somebody and can give that in return. And that is the type of love that I want when I want to say I want to get married to somebody. So, that's what I go into the experience wanting, but it also has to be that. I don't just, oh, well, this is how it's supposed to go, I'll just settle. I'm not settling.
No, we can tell that about you. You're a very tough girl. And, every season ABC says this is the most dramatic season ever. But come on, Hannah, what actually makes your season the most dramatic ever?
I think this could be up there as one of the most dramatic seasons ever. I think because I'm dramatic and because I don't hold anything back, I tell it like it is. And then my guys, it's so great, but they were passionate about having a relationship with me, and sometimes that meant that they had man drama going on. And there was a lot of confrontations going on between the men, and that was really affecting my relationships too. And there was just
a lot
that you will see. Yeah.
Going back to night one, what was your favorite entrance that one of the guys made? Because there was some very original characteristics that we saw on that first night.
Yeah. I would say, just because it's really important to me that somebody listens to me, I really liked when Connor S. jumped the fence for me, because I had said earlier, I guess at Women Tell All, or maybe after the final rose, I can't remember really which one, how, I want a guy to jump a fence for me. And he literally did that. And so that really did make a big impression on me.
And so Luke P won the pageant for Mr. Right. Who was the runner-up?
I would say Jed definitely brought the house down with that original Mr. Right song. And he ended up getting the group date rose because he continued on during the night, just being really great too. So we'll give him the first runner-up award.
I mean, look, you had the abs, you had someone serenading you, you had Mike prancing around in heels. I mean, it does not suck to be you, Hannah.
No, that was one of the best dates that I could have had. It was fun because I kind of brought them into my world, but had a little twist on it, and they were actually so game for it. Like, they enjoyed it so much, which really surprised me. So it really started off my journey to a great start, just seeing how these guys were just willing to do anything for me. So.
Absolutely. And look, still an entire season to go, so we can see them go to all the great lengths in the world to win your heart. And obviously, we're all really excited to see how your story ends. And hopefully, it is the happy ending that you have been dreaming of. So, Hannah, thank you so much for being here. I know that you're incredibly busy right now doing press for the show, so it really means a lot that you took time out to chat with us here at Reality Check. And hopefully, you'll join us again later in the season and give us more developments. But best of luck regardless.
Yeah, well, thank you. I would love to. It was fun being here today with you.
Thank you, Hannah. Thank you. You're absolutely lovely. All right, well, everyone, do not go anywhere, because when we come back, we will be breaking down last night's episode of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and discussing so much more. So don't go anywhere.